Hello everyone, here we are ready for another week of worm farming. It was a busy weekend. I am exhausted. We put together another bioreactor on Saturday. That took all day. I'm not sure why. We did do a lot of extra things that we didn't do with the last one that I wanted to explore whether it made a big difference or not, because I'm really fine-tuning the reaction now. I want to be able to replicate and control the process, and so gosh, there's a lot of fine-tuning to it and a lot of details that need to be paid attention to, so there's that. And then on Sunday, while we were waiting for that reactor to heat up, which we gained 10 degrees, our ambient temperature was like in the 40s, so we were warmer than we were on the last reactor. And then we did not blanket it the first night to try to make sure it got down in the 20s to make sure it stayed warm, but I didn't do that. And everything's still good. Still gained 10 degrees about every 12 hours now. So what's today? Monday? Sunday we gained another 10, I believe. Yes. Okay, so on to the worms on Sunday, since we had a full day of fun day. We worked on the it's called a fanning, I think it's an 1858 or 1859 seed cleaner. Now, all them guys back there that were cleaning their own seed, man, you know, they were probably saving back their seed for their cover crops. They were missing one vital piece for their machine, though, and that was the adapter to make it a vermicompost sifter. I'm not going to say castings cleaner or sifter or cocoon separator, because that baby will separate the worms from the larger debris. I don't know why I haven't focused you down here where you need to be. And off the top, see these larger debris particles and these big things here like this, which if this was a little more dry, and we're working on that, we got to get our timing perfected in these bins. We got to have our substrate and our moisture. Everything has to be extremely precise when we want this system to run efficient, fluent, I mean, like clockwork without a hitch. Okay, so anyway, it sifted out these big balls like this, even though there is vermicompost castings in there. And that's because that's my fault, not the machine's fault. I've got them a little too wet yet for separating these cocoons and castings. So I got to figure out a way to get them sky blue dry. And then I'm going to say almost, boy, if there's a way, if I just throw in some cocoa pour maybe to dry them down and turn them maybe another day, will that really dry them so they all come apart real nice? And so you'd want that cocoa core in there. That's going to be a feedstock. Like, you don't want 100% pure castings. You're not going to have stuff to feed your protozoans and your other microbes that need these organic matters. So, or biology, whatever, it's down the line. You do understand what I'm saying? Like, we need the organic matter to be broken down. That feeds your biology, and it feeds your protozoans, and it feeds your, it's your predator-prey interaction. So you're going to want to find a substrate that you like that sifts through with your castings. So I'm thinking possibly the cocoa core, since it's, I'm hearing, more sustainable than the peat. Okay, so we're going to find something that we feel is sustainable. So I'm going with the cocoa core, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get these bins dried to about a sky blue right before I take these worms out, the breeder bins. And then we're going to have to just run them through the mill. We'll separate these large particles and the worms. Now that was I think a 1/4-inch screen that I used. Worked really good. You know, even the small little worms did not go through there. The way that thing works, not only does it go shaking left and right, when you really get it rolling, it bounces the whole machine because it's slamming back and forth. This is really cool to see. I might have to hold it down because it's on almost like a bungee. Not a bungee, but it's something up top that's holding it hanging. And I didn't even really find any little worms in my sifted out castings cocoons. So then I'm thinking, once you sift out those castings cocoons, go ahead and mix those in with, see, that's like a piece of avocado. Why haven't they ate that? Like, that avocado, I feel, should have been gone. These things have been foraging, I think, for 3 weeks now. So, obviously, they like my bedding better than, like, food. If that's even food. I can't eat avocados. They make me throw up. It's supposedly that they're toxic to all mammals, it says. Except humans. Humans can eat. They can eat a lot of them. Except me. I can't. They make me throw up. Just a bit of information that you probably don't even want to know about me, that maybe you should look into yourself. I'm a mammal. Now, these are beautiful. The bedding's really well broke down. They're just too wet, so I should have left. Let's see, I've got 2. No, I don't think. We did not have tops on these tanks, so I don't know where all this moisture is coming from, but obviously the leaves are breaking down into creating more water. I believe our water migration system has worked in this bin. See how I am not pulling out any of my breeder age worms at all. No. And then I'm going to save like 15% of this bedding to put back into the new bin. So when I turn this over, I'm hoping to find super large quantities of worms. We'll see. Checked on tower 1, which was put in my pre-compost when it was reset, and I have never seen cocoons in those levels before in my life. Okay, see how those worms are just right there on the bottom? Looking wonderful. And so I feel like our migration worked because our water sunk to the bottom of the bin. I feel like we were probably a lot more moist than I probably should have been before reset. But guys, this is just my first reset, so I got a long way to go. I am no professional worm farmer. Now I'm just starting to create some amendments for my agriculture fields. These are going to be my eco-friendly fertilizers. Instead of using the synthetics, you know, to raise you guys food, we are going to give it a go using, I don't know why they ain't eating that avocado. Using eco-friendly fertilizers. And we're going to extract the biology off of these castings, and then we are going to apply that in a liquid form. Okay, we'll move you over. We are going to be getting the, that's pre-compost thermophilic pile. I like to move this over the top of the tank. That's so awesome that the table is taller than it. Because then when I grab that from there and put it in here, it doesn't fall all over my floor. I have something else to show you. This is Curly Sue fleece from 2023. We're using it as the aphrodisiac bedding to hopefully get these worms really laying as soon as we reset these bins. And I feel like the more and more we keep adding wool to the bins and holding back a certain percentage of the original bedding, that we're going to continue to inoculate more and more and end up having more and more bacteria that's going to break this down, hopefully faster and faster. We're going to see about that. Because before. We were just kind of checking to see how long it took it to get broke down, which I'm going to say about 4 weeks, without any prior, really, buildup of biology that breaks down fleece. Okay. Next then, this is thermophilic compost pile. I made it in December, so it's been maturing for about a month. Ooh, there's some big chunks of bark in here. It's going to be a long term, since the microbes have been inoculated with it, so I just kind of try to work it down in that place in case there's some biology there that likes to feed on that. The fleece that I found broke down the fastest was in a bin that, and it'll be next week that I think I get into that bin, was my wild worms bin. And the only thing I know that's different about my wild worm bin is that it was mainly made of all dirt from the garden that I picked up, that I had put my worms in, and then brought them inside. So the dirt was heavy, so and then I got it too wet, so I had to split it, and then oh gosh, you guys, it was such a mess. Split it, and then I had to add a bunch of amendments to dry material to try to dry it out. And so one thing I did was add that wool, and I noticed in 2 weeks time that bin had broken the wool down approximately the same as what a compost bin had done in 3 weeks. That's a potato left from that thermophilic pile. Okay, so we're starting out with mostly all of our bedding on the top here. So we've got a good aerobic layer below it. Okay. And then we're going to add the wormies in. Okay, so I don't use that anymore. I just grab some bedding, and boy, I'll use some of the newest stuff. There are billions of wisps in this here bedding, and they went to the bottom. And then if I just use some of this new stuff and kind of brush that and brush them in here, we can move a lot of them into this bin. Okay. I think I got them. Most of them anyway. Ugh, there's a lot of them. So that means these bins, if there's a lot of food in here, these populations are going to be massive by spring. So I'm hoping to be able to collect some castings, everyone, with the fanning seat cleaner. Bringing those old things back to life here at the carbon flip on my microbial farm. Woohoo! Isn't that fantastic? Wait till you see it. Oh, I made a video. I'm going to get that one up hopefully today. See, I need to have a sheet here on the side that I'm keeping track of what I'm even saying to you guys. And then you... So I know I got to upload this video now before that video, which I should have already had something getting loaded, because guess what? I'm so far behind. Isn't even funny. I'm going to have to give you an update on my sad worm situation, which I think he died from protein poisoning. Leo is no more, but it was a good investigation. We got to see him and thought he was doing good, and we were excited, and then we got the tar knocked out of us. You gotta be able to laugh, guys. You gotta get over it. Live and let die, you know? It's one of these days. I just hope that when I go, it's not painful. Okay, so we got this. Let's get our bucket of leaves. We will apply to the top to help keep this moist. We've reset the spreader in. I can't wait to see how it does. I'm going to peek in on tower number 2 or 3. I already looked at the Euros. Oh, I don't think they're happy now being reset. What a mess, the Euros. They are just finicky. I think they need a really wet environment. Deep bedding. They don't like turned. But I'm in the learning process, so I want to learn. So I feel like I need to get in there in order to learn. But maybe the red wigglers can tolerate that much more. And then I will learn bedding situation on red wigglers. That way I won't have to be digging through my Euros as often. And then, so like my Africans, I have not touched them. Maybe once I turned them. Because I seen what happened when I was turning those Euros so much. So I'm trying to leave my Euros. I just pop the lid back, kind of dig in a little space, see how it looks moisture-wise, things like that. Not looking good. It's looking too dry. So we're not getting a whole lot of reproduction going on. I'm not seeing cocoons. I'll get one bin out and I will turn it. See what's going on, even if I lose a few. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the lid back on this because I feel like it's going to dry out just like they did with the Euros. And they want this moist now, especially if we're going to make it 3 weeks. I'll keep checking in on them. But that's my thoughts for now.